All right, Errol Spence Jr. does a good bit of clowning on Kell Brook. Kell Brook tried to get a little smart on to Errol Spence's Instagram about him dancing around and being happy, and Errol Spence blasts back. But the way that he did it, I'm telling you, man, I thought it was just really, really interesting, man. I love when a dude points out hypocrisy, man. So let's get into it in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. All right, so Errol Spence Jr. is on Instagram, dancing around, feeling good, just being silly or whatever. And Kell Brook responds to his Instagram post by saying, something like, "You okay, man?" Like, "You okay, man?" I think he might have been trying to imply that the dude was losing his mind, or he was high, or he's doing something. I don't know what he could be, what he was implying by that. But if you don't like Errol Spence Jr. or you don't like a fighter, anything that they do is automatically suspect. But so he says that, and then Errol Spence says nothing. His response was, "And nothing's wrong. Just feeling good, just feeling good about life." I'm paraphrasing, right? Because none of these guys write particularly well on their Twitter feeds. I got to get used to the fact that on Instagram and Twitter that periods are just like, they're optional. Periods and commas are optional. So basically what he says was, "Yeah, I'm feeling really good. Like hey man, like I got a second chance at life. Kind of like you would feel if you got stabbed, if somebody just walked up and stabbed you in the leg for nothing." You know what I mean? So it was like, man, I loved it because he just captured the hypocrisy, right? That of people in the world in general, but boxing in particular, right? So if you're not familiar with what he's talking about, Errol Spence Jr. was in a car accident, and the car flipped over a bunch of times, man. It was like, man, and that was a crazy morning, man, because when I got on my computer and I saw Errol Spence involved in car wreck, and I was like, oh God, your stomach just drops at, just your heart drops into your stomach, right? You're like, oh man, please let this guy be alive, man. Don't let this be one of these horrible moments, right? So winds up not being a horrible moment. It was scary couple days, man, but he winds up, that he had some damage to his teeth, no broken bones, and he's coming back to the sport of boxing. So, he really did escape a tragedy there, man. And that's just an absolute beautiful thing. So Errol Spence Jr. is saying, yeah, man, no, I'm just feeling good about life. Shoot, I feel like I got a second shot at life. So he's feeling good. I mean, why wouldn't he feel good about that, man? When you escape something like that, and you probably, and I'm not going to speak for him because I don't know what the situation is or any of that, like the real situation, but he feels like, hey man, he got a second chance at life. You know what I mean? That dude saw his life, the proverbial saw your life flash before your eyes, and he walked away from it. So hopefully that would mean that, hey, he's going to value his life more, whatever lessons he's going to learn. Man, how can you not be happy if you got out of that type of situation? After the shock is gone, you got to feel appreciation for life, right? At least you would think that. But Kell Brook, and I do believe Kell Brook, that was before the Gennady Golovkin fight. Kell Brook went through something very, very similar to that, in that he was stabbed in the leg at a bar or something, man, and he wound up being in the hospital for that. Now, if you get stabbed in the leg at a bar, if you get stabbed in the leg, man, there's all kind of arteries and stuff passing through your leg, man, and it's not hard. It's not difficult at all for you to bleed out by getting stabbed to the leg. So both of those guys had overcome, circumstances where, they were in life-threatening circumstances, being either doing the wrong thing or being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like my daddy's like, man, hey, ain't nobody just walking, hey, Kell, ain't nobody just walking up and stabbing you in the leg for no reason, homie. Okay? Ain't nobody gonna do that for no reason, man. You were talking some smack to somebody, you did something to somebody, something happened, man. Something happened. What's your fault? But anyway, I'm sure that they're both very, very happy that didn't turn out any worse. for one another. But just to see those guys have that back and forth about it, I thought it was really funny, man. But the lesson for Kell Brook is, man, you know, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And they do them, and they do it all the time. Like, how can you act as if there's something wrong with Errol Spence Jr. when you yourself should understand the situation that this guy's in and how happy he is to be alive, you know? But, you know, that doesn't keep people from doing it. Now, the big question for me is what's going to happen in this welterweight division. All right. Now, it's all fine and good. Errol Spence Jr. got out of his accident in one piece. Beautiful. Kell Brook has, you know, gotten past his situation. He got past the broken orbital bone from Gennady Golovkin. He's gotten past a broken orbital bone from Errol Spence Jr. Man, dude, this dude must be like dang near a robot, man. That dude like a robot skull or something, man, with all the metal up in there. But what's going to be next for Kell Brook? What's going to be next for Errol Spence Jr.? And I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. Really, like, that was a good enough fight where I would have liked to see a rematch. More than likely, the rematch with those guys couldn't happen at 147, because I really do doubt that Kell Brook is going to be able to make it down to 147 pounds. It would be great if he could. I don't think that he will. So obviously that's a ways off. But Bob Arum said that he was going to be trying to make the fight between Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford if he can't get a Manny Pacquiao fight. So, you know, maybe they can't. There's an outside chance that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter Kell Brook can fight, because if he can make 147 pounds for Terrence Crawford, then he can make 147 pounds for Errol Spence. But Errol Spence and Kell Brook probably can't happen because, you know, Errol Spence has got at least two fights lined up. I think the Terrence Crawford one is a little more realistic. But, you know, on that note, and I'm not going to get off this video without saying this to you, but you just get out of here, man. You guys got to stop with the prima donna bud stuff, man. Okay. This shout out to my dude who left a comment, but I'm going to talk about it in the middle, the tail end of this video. Look, y'all, I like Bud Crawford. I don't know how many ways that I can say that I like Bud Crawford. I've been doing videos about Bud Crawford for 3 years. All of them highly complimentary. The only issue that I've ever had with Terrence Crawford is that he's got to 147 pounds and he's not fighting anybody. Okay? And you guys you think it's okay for him to be a prima donna. All right? I don't think it's cool. I don't think that he is in prima donna status yet. Okay? Canelo Alvarez is a prima donna because Canelo Alvarez has reached prima donna status where he can decide exactly who it is that he wants to fight, and that's what it's going to be. If Canelo Alvarez wants to fight Jermall Charlo, Canelo Alvarez can fight Jermall Charlo. If Canelo Alvarez wants the WBC to allow him to take a little bit extra Combuterol, that's what Canelo gets. If Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to fight Jermall Charlo and he still wants to have a WBC belt, they'll build a whole new belt for Canelo Alvarez. That is the only diva that I would like to remain in the sport of boxing, and I hope that he is the last, okay? But this Terrence Crawford divaness is out of hand, man. He has to fight somebody. He's the WBO if he's a champion, champions don't just only fight other champions. They're supposed to be fighting the best guys out there. And if Terrence Crawford has a voluntary fight that he can make, if Errol Spence Jr. is not available or does not want to fight him for whatever reason, if Manny Pacquiao is not available or does not want to fight him for whatever reason, Terrence Crawford still has to fight somebody. And you guys just seem to me to be obsessed with this idea that Terrence Crawford, you don't care who Terrence Crawford fights. You just want to wait. You just know we're just going to wait around. He gets to fight. He can fight whoever he wants. We're just going to wait around for him to fight Errol Spence Jr. And then if he doesn't fight Errol Spence Jr., then it's Errol Spence Jr.'s fault that Terrence Crawford would have wound up fighting absolutely nobody. Okay? What happens if Errol Spence Jr. just moves to 154? Like, you know what? After this weight loss, after this car accident that I had, I cannot make 157 pounds. I can't make 147 anymore. It's just too difficult. I'm going up to 154. And then Manny Pacquiao retires. Then what? For Terrence Crawford? Oh, he would have never fought anybody. You know what I mean? And it would have been Errol Spence Jr.'s fault for moving up and Manny Pacquiao's fight and retiring. In the meantime, he could have fought Sean Porter. He could fight Ugas. He could fight, man, like I said, he could fight Kell Brook, but whatever, man. Y'all don't want to see Bud fight nobody. Y'all just want to be right about something and tell me I'm hating on Bud for wanting to see Bud take on somebody that is a good fight, man. Good, believe it or not, dude, good competitive fights are more fun to watch than one-sided mismatches, okay? They're just more fun to watch. And I enjoy watching those fights, and I enjoy the atmosphere around those fights more than I do the Terrence Crawford, Benavidez, Calvin Alcus, Amir Khan, and Jeff Horn, it's not a trilogy, four-peat, whatever you call it. Anyway, it is what it is. Y'all can kick rocks. And with that, I'm out. Peace.